guys, welcome to the third part of this workshop. I would like to then go into step 3, which is the next step that comes after you find and you properly cite evidence. You have to analyze. So what does this mean? I would like you to provide strong commentary. That's what analysis is. It provides your opinion. And there's different ways that you can analyze. Number one, you might want to do a close reading. You might want to observe some key words. Number two, you definitely want to look beneath the surface when you're analyzing. Try to make connections. Try to find significance in the text that you're using. Ultimately, your analysis is meant to strengthen your thesis. You don't ever want to analyze in a way that will contradict your thesis. Maybe your analysis will explore a counter argument, look at the opposite side, argue against it. Maybe it will be your opportunity to share educated opinions about an issue. So I thought for practice number 4, I can include, and I wanted to give you guys 2 samples. I'm going to give you 2 different body paragraphs and have you compare them in terms of the analysis. So I would like you to read body paragraph 1. This is a student sample, and body paragraph 2, another student sample. Now, after you are done reading these 2 body paragraphs, tell me which one do you think has the stronger analysis and why. I would like at least a few sentences in your explanation. Don't just say, oh, the first one, and then that's it. I want to know why you think that. And when you are answering the question of why, I would like you to look at this list on the left. Does one paragraph have more of these that, I listed as being parts of strong commentary, as what makes strong commentary? Does one paragraph have more of a combination of this than another paragraph? And if so, which ones? Like which steps are being used as an analytical strategy? So go ahead, press pause, read the 2 paragraphs, and then decide which one you think has the strongest analysis and why. All right, the next step is, part of our writing our body paragraph process is wrapping up our main point. And basically that concluding sentence is supposed to relate back to the topic sentence. So it ties everything that you were saying in that body paragraph back to your topic sentence and back to your thesis. And it also, a lot of times, answers the question of so what? Why is this important? So if I'm arguing a certain point, why is it important? And of course, like a lot of times people skip that step because they're like, oh, my readers will understand why it's important. Well, no, don't just assume that they are automatically going to know why it's important. Answer this question. Why are all your points important? What do they ultimately prove about your argument? And that will be a nice little concluding sentence, kind of like a sandwich. You have to have that bottom bun. Otherwise, is it really worth it eating that burger? I don't think so. So, of course, you come full circle, and that's ultimately the goal of your body paragraph. You start with a topic sentence, you have your evidence, you have your analysis, but then you have to remember to conclude your body paragraph once again with another type of a sentence that relates back to your topic sentence. Now, we are ready for our conclusion. And our conclusion, the best way to put it, is our lasting impression. So it has 2 functions. The conclusion restates our thesis. We don't exactly copy-paste what we wrote in our thesis. We have to write it similarly, but using different words. And number 2, our conclusion is supposed to leave us with something to think about. It might be our own personal opinion. It might be sharing an emotion we have about a certain issue. It might be sharing a little story, an anecdote, something that we went through or something that another person went through as a way to conclude. It might be a sentence or a few sentences that is supposed to arouse curiosity in our readers. So here's a sample conclusion, just as a way to demonstrate. Again, this is a student sample, and notice how the conclusion is supposed to be really short, sweet, and to the point. Here it is. On a final note, I find it unhelpful when pessimists say we have always had violence and we will continue to always have it in our society. How do they know? When did they give up on people and in the good of humanity? At what point did they accept despair and defeat as a way of life? Human nature is not perfect, that much is obvious, but we are also not impossible to redeem. All it takes is a person who cares, extending a helpful hand. So as you can tell, the topic that the student's writing about is violence. And really, ultimately answering the question of, can we ever end violence? And this ending is supposed to not only make us, feel certain emotions, but then it's also supposed to get us to be moved in some way. So it's not like the writer is just trying to convey his or her emotions, but the writer is also trying to get us to feel a certain way as he or she is concluding this paper. And that's just, a little sample for you guys to think about. Now we are ready to start our outlining process. This is what I'm going to follow for our final practice. It's going to be a rough outline, and I'm going to show you guys my sample, and then I will have you guys do your own sample. So first of all, before we do our outline, I would like you to know what an outline is. Number one, an outline is supposed to be the skeleton of your essay. If you could write a good outline, it's going to set up the entire part or parts of your essay. It's going to offer your main points. It's going to be brief and easy to understand. So brief is very important. Outlines are not supposed to be like in full-length paragraph form. It's supposed to be in like fragments and keywords and key ideas. Your outline is supposed to be a clear organization of your ideas. And typically outlines use letters, numbers, Roman numerals. So if you look at my sample on the right, here's a Roman numeral, there's my letter, there's my number. Notice how neat it is. It's very organized. And here is my outline. Now I'm going to have you guys do this process, but I also did one as a sample to show you. So I would like to first show you my, my subject. I decided that I'm going to write and publish a petition on change.org. Change.org is a site where you try to get some kind of a rule or law to be passed. And I decided for my introduction, the purpose of my argument, the purpose of my argument is to persuade my readers to take action. So for change.org, for the readers there to sign my petition. So if you ever go to change.org, you will see the way that the website is organized. That's my purpose. Now for B, here's the context of the issue that I would like to write about. I would like to write about the fact that I am an adjunct faculty member. And number one thing I would like to, clarify is the disproportionate competition in English and English classes among faculty members. The minimum requirements to be a faculty member, a full-timer, is just not enough. Like, we just are not getting hired. And number three, hiring is based on social political factors, not always merit. And I really want to argue this issue that no matter how good of a teacher I am, I might not land a full-time job. So what I want to write about is this idea that part-time faculty just can't get a full-time job. It's like impossible to get hired. So that's my issue, and that's the context I wish to develop. I just want you guys to notice that my context are just main ideas. Nothing is in full sentence form. Then comes my thesis. Here's my thesis. Adjunct faculty who work at a community college for at least 5 years should automatically qualify for a full-time tenure-track position if they have the experience, qualifications, and reasonable demonstrations of merit. I have 3 rationales. The experience is one rationale, the qualifications is another, and the demonstrations of merit is my third rationale. And notice my thesis is so focused. I have my claim, that's the claim I want to make, that we should get a full-time position, and then I have my reasoning behind it. Now I'm ready for my body paragraph. Notice my topic sentence. It's going to say something along the lines of, typically community colleges ask for a minimum of 2 to 4 years experience to qualify for a full-time position. Now notice, you guys, my topic sentence is related to my first rationale. If you can remember, my first rationale is here. If they have the experience. So my topic sentence is on experience. It's a more focused look at the experience rationale. My support, I would like to use the statistic right here. And this statistic is pretty shocking. Imagine that 75.5% of college faculty are not tenure track, which means they are part-time faculty. That's just a shocker. That just means most classes being taught are taught by part-time, not full-time faculty. Is that even fair? I think that's completely unfair. Next, my analysis. Again, I'm not actually going to analyze, but I do want to list how I plan on analyzing. I would want to tie the statistics that I found here to my personal experience working at Glendale Community College since 2006. And here's some examples, like maybe I might want to cover this, and then I want to lead to the issue of fairness. Now look, I'm not committing to my analysis. I might decide to change it later on, but these are just my notes. This is supposed to be my outline. And of course, we write outlines for the purpose of changing our minds later. So I'm not committed to it. It's just some ideas I might want to explore. And my sentence back is, with the signing of this petition, so many hardworking adjuncts who have years under their belt can get the full-time position they so richly deserve. And that ultimately goes back to my purpose, which is to persuade my readers to sign my petition. So if this is going to be my petition, I'm like, please sign it so that this can get passed and people like me can be hired full-time. And my conclusion. Now, again, I'm supposed to restate my thesis. So the thesis up here, I'm just going to restate it. Faculty who have the experience, qualifications, and examples of merit should receive a promotion from adjunct to full-time tenure track. And finally, my lasting impression. What do I want to leave my readers thinking about? I want to leave them thinking about, by signing this petition, you can help English faculty like me receive not just what we deserve, but what we have rightfully earned. Just to tug at your emotions and maybe get you to do what I want you to do. So I would like you to compose your own outline. This was mine, and I would like you to do yours using one of the topics in our essay that I gave you. So the prompt is already available on Canvas. Please open up the prompt, choose one. You don't have to commit to it for your essay, but choose one for practice 5 and do an outline with these steps and following, roughly these suggestions that I did here for your chosen topic. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me.